Yes, what you are seeing on the screen is in fact not a depiction of hallucinations nor epilepsy. It's a slot machine. It's cocaine, disguised as pixel art. But instead of money being the price, the cost is your eyes. Gentlemen, I welcome you to Vampire Survivors. Judging by the graphics, this game looks like it was released back when Diddy was still allowed near kids.
Diddy, come on out.
But it came out when Diddy was still allowed near kids. 2022, just 3 years ago. The game has 4 controls: W, A, S, and D.
Dora, can you find where I gave a fuck?
How could be a game with 4 controls be addicting or even fun, you might ask? 98% of reviews on Steam are positive, making it one of the most highly rated games on Steam. The developer of this game, Galante, excuse my pronunciation, previously worked in gambling industry, and with the wisdom he gained from gambling, he created this masterpiece. Wiki also says he was unemployed at the time. The concept is simple. There is a dude or a tree has a whip or any other million weapons. You kill enemies, get XP, upgrade your weapons, and repeat until the clock reaches 30 minutes. By that point, a reaper with millions of HP will come to you and kill you. And even if you somehow manage to defeat him, the death itself will come to take you. Your goal being to survive 30 minutes. You start with a single weapon. You get to either upgrade that existing weapon or choose another. The choices are completely random. This is the first gambling element of this game. You are allowed 6 weapons and 6 passive abilities. Every once in a while, a boss will spawn and defeating him drops a chest. This is another gambling element of this game. Chests will normally upgrade 1 but has a chance to upgrade 3 or even 5 of your weapons. I have opened a lot of cases in a lot of games, but the sound design on this one makes me want to make my family homeless again. But here is another thing. Most of the weapons in the game can evolve, taking the game from looking like this to something like this. So there are hundreds of weapons which you want to see what they do. Then you want to see what their evolutions do. Then you have hundreds of characters with every single one of them having different stats, and some of them have unique weapons. And then you have different maps, bosses, secrets, permanent power-ups. On top of that, the game isn't mechanically demanding, but challenging enough so that the dopamine hits you like pure Colombian coca. This game is literally for everyone. By the looks of it, it doesn't look as impressive, but trust me, when I played this game for the first time, an hour later I got a message from my neighbor.
Why aren't you here?
What do you mean?
My father's funeral?
Isn't that tomorrow?
Motherfucker. This is tomorrow!
That wasn't an hour I played. It was almost a day, non-stop. Sorry bro, but this was kinda important. I'm sure Unc will understand. Rest in peace. What also makes it a great game is progression. It is immaculate, simple and effective. The game makes you work like a slave for everything. Not like an exploitation slavery, but voluntary slavery. You know what I mean?
No.
Oh, you want a pause menu? You need to complete this level. Oh, you want a what now? A map, a character, a new weapon? The game allows you to break all game limits, but you have to earn it. Like even the simplest of mechanics like a pause menu or a map is locked behind these quests. Characters are locked behind secrets, coffins in random maps, or surviving a certain duration, maybe evolution. The only negative reviews this game has is about the game being repetitive and grindy, and maybe a guy had a seizure, but that's pretty common, don't worry about it. Yes, the gameplay loop gets repetitive, we will talk about that, but grindy, maybe if you want to unlock every single character. But that's the content of the game. It always gives you a task and you are rewarded for it. I am unlocking something every single run, either a weapon, evolution or a character. The game literally says play 15 minutes with this character, unlock another. Progression doesn't get better than this. Now there are a few OP characters which require you to complete a few challenges like kill 100,000 enemies in a single match, which I'll admit sounds a lot, but in a game like this, it takes about 10 to 15 minutes because of the features like hurry and hyper mode, which you also have to unlock. Hurry allows you to make your games twice as fast, so every minute IRL will be 2 minutes in game, and the hyper mode just increases the enemy spawn rate, but also gives you movement speed. If you find the game too easy, you can play inverted mode, which makes every single enemy have 200% more health. Also, you can curse yourself to make it even harder. That sounds like a metal band t-shirt. Curse yourself to make it even harder. The freedom this game gives you might be the reason why it becomes repetitive. I know this video is about the most addictive game, which is true, but only for the first 30 to 50 hours of the game. You must have heard this quote. This one is from One Pixel. The brighter the star, the faster it burns. To make Jews work, we used guns. The game lets you do everything, and by everything, I mean everything. Remember how I said you have to survive 30 minutes and after that you are guaranteed to die? Well, if you keep playing the game, you might stumble upon a secret quest which lets you limit break, disabling Reapers and making the run endless. Which also means you can keep evolving the weapons. Some of them get so big a single projectile can cover your entire screen. Bruh. It also lets you become OP too early. Even before you can limit break, you can become unkillable. In theory, eventually enemies should be able to overwhelm you because some enemies scale off of your levels. For example, Reapers. Their base HP will be multiplied by your levels, but then you have insanely overpowered weapons like Infinite Corridor. What Infinite Corridor does is, it shoots a beam that freezes enemies in time, and the beam does a full clockwise rotation like a second hand on a clock. And every time it does a full rotation, it creates a bubble around the player, halving the health of any enemy on the screen. Another one worth mentioning is Crimson Shroud. It makes you invulnerable for a moment and caps all incoming damage at 10. Weapons like these make the game kinda easy, and once you achieve this unkillable state, you start to question, do I need to unlock more weapons? Do I need more characters? Do I need to see all the evolutions when I can just freeze enemies in time? And this is when the game loses its charm. It even lets you control enemy health. There are a lot of items which makes them stronger. There are characters which are completely invincible, and some of them can even go through walls. In the beginning, to become unkillable or to get these two weapons, you have to get these 4 items every single match, which are so far away from each other that sometimes it's not worth it. But then you unlock Arcanas. These are another power-ups which you get in chests. One of them can pull all the items in the map near you, which makes becoming invincible as easy as plugging a cucumber after unplugging Alexa Echo. A long rope of Alexa Echo. The game lets you become some of the bosses you defeat, and they always start with evolved weapons or unique ones. What was really unexpected for me was that some characters can also evolve, like Dracula becomes this monstrosity, and the skeleton Murtaccio becomes this Gosha Dokuro. What are these names? I'm sorry, if your mother named you Gosha Dokuro, she probably doesn't love you and never expect to say your name again. This game had a few crossovers with other games, Castlevania, Contra, and Among Us. Yeah, this game is sus. You can vent in this game. You can be an imposter among us. Some of these Among Uses are insanely powerful. Like this Among Us becomes invincible for a brief time after defeating some horde of enemies, has a weapon which picks the highest HP target on the screen and mostly one-shots him. And not only that, anything on the way will also be deleted. This makes it so that when you see the stats screen, you see these crazy numbers. What is even 1.5 G? 1 Google? Did I do 1 Google of damage? Oh, it's 1 billion. Why would you write 1 billion as 1 G? What? Who came up with this? Also, this Among Us has emergency meeting, which randomly picks an enemy and all the similar enemies will be ejaculated. Scientist Among Us can launch a rocket. Ghost Among Us can go through walls but can't damage or be damaged. Horse Among Us, cousin of Wolf Among Us, I don't even know what it does, honestly. All the characters from Contra are weak and have weaker weapons, but to make up for it, they get special drops like they do in the original game, increasing their speed, rate of fire, etc. And Castlevania is a huge DLC. It has only 1 map, but 30 something bosses, so many secrets, 60 plus characters. The DLC might be as big as the game itself. Also, I love how the devs just went full creative mode designing some of these quests. There is a quest which says, be a good boy in the map Il Molis. The map doesn't have any enemies, just flowers and trees, but you can kill them. Now, destroying plants isn't exactly being a good boy, so what can you do? There is a cute dog in this game that has a flower weapon which leaves a trail of flowers behind him, damaging enemies. But instead of destroying plants, it heals them. So it's just you running around as a dog in a field of flowers. What a wholesome quest. Dogs usually sniff flowers and piss on them so that they never grow. But hey, close enough. There is another quest with the most adverse fate in Green Acres, run off the edge of the world. In this quest, you have to go to the edge of the map, but the map is infinite. Actually, you have to go to southwest or bottom left of your screen as far as possible. Soon the game will break, character will start to leave a trail, map changes into this bugged texture slop, and you have to kill these boss enemies. Eventually the map will shrink and it will get back to normal. Now this unlocks this bugged character, missing and box, which is completely broken both in good and bad ways, has negative speed which inverts your controls but excels in some stats, sometimes comes with evolved axe, sometimes not, actually a glitched character by design. These are the example of some quests where the devs went full out of the box thinking. I love them. The quests. I haven't talked about maps because there is not much to talk about them. Some maps are infinite repeating textures, but some of them are well designed, like all the DLC ones, and my personal favorite, Lake Forest, because you get to kill all the goblins who self-diagnose themselves with ADHD and autism for attention. Also the Moon Spell, because it is Japanese. Enemies are inspired by actual Japanese yokai, demons. And for some reason, when you enter a cave, a horde of Oni will spawn, and each one of them is equivalent to a boss. And lastly, this map also has that iconic Japanese gate. You must have seen this before. I like how devs don't give a single flying fuck about visibility. To be fair, after some time you don't need to see. That's probably what Trump said to the military before bombing starving Irani children. It's a game where a blind man can also get a higher score than you. Speaking of visibility, some weapons have insane effects. Victory Sword, for example, when evolved, does this insane galaxy effect. It looks way too menacing than it actually is. There are definitely better weapons. I don't know how they pulled off visuals like these in a game like this. Oh, not this. This. If this was a gacha game with characters locked behind some gambling shit, it would have been way more addicting. Problematic even. But since the game lets you experience everything just by playing the game, the fun doesn't last forever, which is actually a good thing. For a game to be good, it has to end someday. Thanks and goodbye.